Alright, let's meet our victim. This is a cheap computer case that I bought through my work a long time ago. Pretty standard micro ATX build. It's got some crazy front panels, a stupid hard drive mount, bad airflow vents in the back. Closer look inside will show you that, you know, it's got a standard power supply mount. It's also got two 5¼ inch bays. There's a bit of a problem with those, which we'll talk about shortly. We've also got two hard drive mounts, including that really wacky one right there. It's not going to be good for airflow. It's got built-in standoffs to the motherboard. Yeah, and this is the thing I was talking about before, the top 5¼ inch bays. Junk. We've got all these cables here, which we'd probably get rid of. Got an I/O shield. Junk. We've also got a crazy sort of PCB design assembly inside the case, which is all heat shrinked up. The idea with that is that there's a crazy light on the front of the case that changes colour. It's attached by a Molex. It's probably going to have to go. These things have got grounding pins for the firewire ports. Now what we're going to do is just take the front panel off this chassis. Right, that's the front panel off. We've got all of these bits and pieces that have got to be pulled off a PCB in the front. So they're your front panel LEDs and stuff. Those disconnected, we're in business. Now this particular case has some crazy design in the back of it, which actually shows you a logo. It's all backlit with LEDs, controlled off that front panel PCB. It says HiSense. Pretty weird name. Alright, now this is the basic front of the chassis. And what we're going to need to do here is use these two optical bays at the top. We can't use the top one because of this stupid tray for the front panel ports. So they're all good. We're going to need to do some modifications to get rid of this stupid thing on the back and allow us to get some more air through the case, maybe even room for a radiator. One cool thing I noticed was that down the bottom of the front panel we've also got this extra 3¼ inch bay. It just sort of flips out. So what you can do there is either use it for front panel ports or, I don't know, there could be something we can do with that a bit later on. We'll have to wait and see. Generally with my mods I use pretty little planning, which is kind of bad, but you know, it's kind of fun just seeing where you end up with it. So yeah, that's the front part of the case. Next step to do is pretty much make this as free of parts as possible. So what I'm going to do is going to take this front 3¼ inch bay out, just with a screwdriver. It's a good idea to do this to basically just give yourself a little bit of extra room to work with, and also it means that you're not going to damage bits. Apologies in advance for the Kung Fu voiceover too, by the way. My camera microphone was kind of bung. Alright, so we've got that off. So this is the basic canvas. Oh yeah, and this vent's got to go. Right, on the front panel, as you can see, it's got these kind of ridges sticking out the side. That could pose a bit of a problem with us. We've also got the floppy bay, which is going to need to be either filled or covered, because, I mean, who uses those things anyway? Alright. So first thing's going to be to take this acrylic off, just in case I want to use it later on. It's pretty easy to pop out. You just have to poke the pins, and that should be us. We'll wrap it up in plastic and then get outside and get to some real modding. Alright, you can see I'm outside, and this is where I'm going to start modding from. As you can probably hear, it's really, really windy. Summer's almost over in New Zealand, so yeah, it gets pretty rough. We've got to get into this quick. Now this case has got a whole bunch of stuff that I really don't want. It's got this hard drive bay mount on the front here. It's got this stupid vent on the back. It's got these holes, which I want to get rid of. And it's also got this horrible little tray. You can't really see it too well in there, but it uses up one of the top bays. So that's going to have to go. It's actually attached with rivets, so that's the first thing we're going to get rid of. Okay, with this ugly tray in the top, which goes all the way in, uses up our top bay, it's attached with rivets here and here, and a couple on the other side. Now, the way to get rivets out is by drilling. Now, you need a drill bit that's slightly larger than the hole that the rivet's gone into, and you basically just drill it out. Now, you have to be really careful that you don't actually enlarge the hole. All you need to do is make sure you've got a sharp drill bit, and also a drill that's charged, unlike my one. And they should just come right out. Like that. Easy as. Now that we've actually removed all the rivets, time to use my best friend when it comes to modding, the hammer. All you have to do is just take it, knock that cage out, and you're done. There you go. Next on my hit list is the front hard drive mount. Don't want it here, so again it's attached with rivets, so all I have to do is drill them out. And we're done. Right, another modification that I want to do on this case chassis is to actually take this panel here out. Now this is actually on the back of the power supply. Your power supply just sits in here, and what I want to do is actually take this piece of metal out, and basically what that's going to allow me to do is to achieve better cable routing. I'm going to be able to take cables from the power supply or wherever and actually run them down behind that motherboard panel. To cut this I'm going to be using a rotary tool. I've got a Dremel. Now what you need to make sure is you use reinforced cutting discs. These things won't bust on you. You could use a jigsaw, but a Dremel's good for this because it's kind of a tight little space to be working in. Make sure you wear safety glasses too, because these things spark. I forgot to kind of mention that ideally you should be using something like masking tape to be taping off the area around where you're going to be cutting, because the Dremel tool can actually jump. Also, you'll probably notice that I'm holding the tool kind of funny. The reason I'm doing that is because I'm cutting around a corner. There's some really good tutorials on how to use a Dremel or other rotary tool over at www.mnpctech.com. You should probably go check them out. So yeah, back to the modding. So this is what you're left with after all your cutting. You've got some pretty rough edges in there, so just be careful you don't touch too much stuff. What we're going to need to do to fix this up is to bust out some keyhole files. Much more accurate and safe than using a power tool for this. As you can see, I'm rather experienced and can file rather quickly, so once you get good you'll be able to do it this quick. So now that we've got that done, it's time to get to this. This has been bugging me ever since I got the case. It sticks out the back too far, it's an ugly design, I just want to get rid of it. So I'm going to get to it with a Dremel tonight. And again, we file. And there you have it. After a lot of dremeling and a little bit of filing, we end up with a nice, clean-cut fan hole. So that's all pretty basic stuff. Now what's going to set this apart from the rest of the other mods out there is the fact that I'm broke. So in order to do this mod, all I am going to be able to rely on is $25 and everything that I've got in my little wee stash of junk that I've been buying over the years. So this is going to be pretty tough, and I'm going to have to be pretty resourceful to get this done and still actually look like something decent. So yeah, stick around for part 2.